Guys, Errol Spence said something which I think is really makes sense. He goes, Bob Arum wants to slam Al Haymon, but then wants to do business with him. He goes, what's that all about? He goes, how can you go on TV and absolutely obliterate someone and then expect to do business with him? And I think Errol Spence has hit the nail on the head. You know, Bob Arum's come out and actually launched a tirade of words towards Al Haymon. I don't know how he feels that, you know, Al Haymon's going to want to work with him, especially when it's Al Haymon that's in the position of power, not Bob Arum. Al Haymon is the one that's got all the PBC welterweights, not Bob Arum. So why the hell would you need to be diplomatic in that situation. You need to be wanting to build a bridge between the two, not blow the bridge off, you know. And I think that's what Bob Arum's doing. I think Bob Arum's coming out in the media and being critical of Al Haymon, and it's not working. It's not working. You need to be diplomatic. You need to start saying, we need to work together. Let's get on the phone. Let's make these fights happen. But Bob Arum's just wanting to, you know, launch a tirade towards Al Haymon, and it's not working, is it? It's just not working. So why not be diplomatic about it? Try to make these things, make a deal, to strike a deal, so your man Terence Crawford can fight these other welterweights. Because at the minute, Bob Arum, Al Haymon may put a block to that, and Terence Crawford might not be able to fight any of these welterweights, and that's not what the public and fans want to see. But I do think Bob Arum's got to be more smart. You know, this is a guy that's been in the game for a very long time. I think he needs to be a bit more business savvy if he wants to make the fights that he wants to make with Terence Crawford, because Terence Crawford's going to get very frustrated if he's not getting the big fights with Errol Spence, with Danny Garcia, with Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, because they're all on one side, so they can fight each other. It looks like Errol Spence will fight Sean Porter and Keith Thurman will fight Pacquiao, but it leaves Terence Crawford out in the cold. But if Bob Arum keeps acting the way he's acting, you know, Terence Crawford may be left out in the cold for a lot longer. So, you know, Bob Arum's got to be a lot more smart than what he's acting right now. He's got to be a lot more business savvy rather than coming across quite desperate and yobbo-ish, if I'm honest. He doesn't need to be like that. He needs to be more smart if he wants to do business with Al Haymon, because Al Haymon is not going to be liking some of the things that Bob Arum is saying. Bob Arum was getting racial, and, you know, a lot of people didn't take what Bob Arum said very kindly. So, you know, I'm pretty sure the guy that he directed it to, Al Haymon, is definitely not going to take it too kindly. So, you know, I just feel that Bob Arum needs to start ripping into Al Haymon and actually start looking at how we're going to make the deal. You know, because it's all well good and well ripping somebody, but you're not making a deal that way. You're just kind of making it harder for yourself to make a deal, because as Errol Spence says, how can you go and absolutely rinse somebody on national television or on television, then want to come and make a fight? It shows desperation. That's what it does. And Al Haymon probably knows that Bob Arum is desperate to get a welterweight fight for Terence Crawford, a meaningful fight for Terence Crawford. And he knows, Al Haymon knows he holds all the aces. So I think Bob Arum's got to be a bit more diplomatic rather than coming out and launching attacks towards Bob Arum, because it's definitely not working, is it? Or launching attacks towards Al Haymon, it's not working. So he's got to be a bit more diplomatic, and he's just got to want to make the fights. You know, Eddie Hearn's had to resort to do that. He doesn't come out and he's not coming out and you know, being as vocal as he was earlier, because he wants to make these fights. And I think Bob Arum may have to go down the same route. Otherwise, I think these fights are going to be nigh on impossible to make, because no one's going to want to work with you if you come out and continue to, you know, launch attacks at them, especially when they're in the power position, when they can keep making big fights and satisfying the fans, when you've left out in the cold and you haven't got anyone to fight. You know, Al Haymon knows that. So Al Haymon knows that Bob Arum and Terence Crawford are desperate. You know, Al Haymon and the fighters that he's got are not desperate, because they know the matchups can be made. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. What do you make of Errol Spence saying, you know, Bob Arum wants to trash Al Haymon and then wants to make a fight? Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.